This is a win for South Oak Cliff, and this is a win for Dallas ISD. This is also a win for every inner city program and every program that was told, you don't live in the right part of town. You don't have the right kind of kids. Your kids aren't coachable. Your kids aren't disciplined. Your kids can't win at the highest level. South Oak Cliff kicked in the door for every inner city program in the state of Texas. This is a monumental moment in Texas high school football.
You know what they do have? The support.
Oh, do they.
We had the UIL Executive Director, Dr. Charles Bright, on with us at the half, and he said this is the first time he remembers having to open the third bowl of this stadium in the first game on a Saturday, Coach. That speaks volumes.
Pleased to be joined by the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, Greg Tepper, and always a lot of excitement when you get a chance to play for a state title, and there's a lot of excitement in different forms on both of these sides.
Yeah, most certainly. The defending state champs, Shiner, have earned their way here, and there's no secret about who's the straw that stirs the drink. It is the Brooks brothers. Let's start with Dalton Brooks, the younger brother, believe it or not, but one of the rare talents in this state. 21 college offers, and it's easy to see why. He has breakaway speed, terrific vision, and a quickness that makes him extremely difficult to tackle at the 2A level. He'd be a star at the 6A level. At 2A, he's awfully impressive. But he would mean almost nothing without his big brother, Doug Brooks, and I do mean big brother. 280 pounds, and you're thinking, he's just a lot of power, right? Very quick on his feet, very nimble for a big man, and impossible to bring down at the 2A level. This is a pair of running backs, Craig, that very few teams in the state at any level have the opportunity to put out there. At the 2A level, they're awfully special.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to tackle these guys. If any defense might be capable of doing it, it's one of the best defenses in the state, the Hawley Bearcats, who've made a living on their defense this year.
Yeah, this is a defense-first Hawley team, and they ranked second in the state in 2A Division I in scoring defense. I mean, they have been absolutely shutting down the opponent's best weapon. That's going to be the key for them tonight, and they've got playmakers up front. Mitch Abels, the coach there, admits they're undersized, but guys like Kyle Nichols and guys like Will Scott live in opponents' backfield by virtue of their quickness, by virtue of their savvy, and these guys have football IQs that are through the roof. They're going to need that tonight against Shiner if they're going to bring home a state championship.
This time it's Doug Brooks outside. Doug Brooks, touchdown Shiner. 28 yards, couple of big blocks, and the big fellow does the rest.
Stretch play to the left side, they give it to the big fella. And Doug Brooks makes him say, hey, you know what? Yeah, my brother's a little bit fast, but what about me? Great block on the outside to spring him, slip one tackle, nobody's gonna catch him from behind. And Shiner, a quick-hitting offense suddenly, taking an 8-point lead right before the half. That feels like a huge play for those Comanches.
And remember, this came after the turnover by Shiner. Wholly unable to do anything with it. Had a quick possession, a punt, and an even quicker touchdown drive. That extra point kick just inside the uprights for Peterson. And it's a 9-point Shiner advantage. They have added a point with every touchdown. It's got a 7-point lead, then an 8, now a 9 as Doug Brooks rumbles to the house.
And that's brotherly love right there. Doug Brooks with the big stop in the end zone. And I'll tell you, you know, we mentioned off the top, Doug Brooks, you see the size. You see 280, and I think that's what draws everybody's attention. He is extremely nimble, extremely quick, light on his feet, and the quick drive there, able to put Shiner up 2 possessions heading into halftime.
Westlake has proven pretty skilled in the last couple years. Do you think they are the clear-cut favorite in this entire classification?
Yup. I think they are. I think they look like the most complete team in 6A. And what I think, it's not just Cade Klebnick who gets a lot of the headlines here, but it's also what I think is a really good and well-rounded receiver core led by Jaden Greathouse. Of course, the Tony Salazar coach defense, which is chef's kiss. It's so stinking good. And the underrated thing about Westlake, I think they have the best offensive line in 6A. I think they have the best offensive line in the state, pound for pound. They are unbelievable. They keep Cade Klebnick clean. And, of course, it helps to have a blue-chip quarterback back there as they are wont to do. Look, they have been absolutely dominant this season, but there's a lot of emotions that go into this game. That's what's going to make this particularly interesting, is who can handle their emotions there at Chaparral Stadium between these two teams that, frankly, do not like each other and have wanted a piece of one another for quite a while. Let's go to Austin, shall we? There's big-time action there. Top 10 matchup in Class 6A. Austin Westlake taking on Lake Travis. Let's go to the action. Here come those Lake Travis Cavaliers. Here come those Westlake Chaparrals. Opening kick return. Westlake is going to take it deep into Lake Travis territory. That is how you start off a rivalry game.
Boy.
All the way deep. That's going to set them up for Cade Klubnik. He's back. Zone read keeper, 22 yards in for the score. And Westlake goes up early, then more from Klubnik. Now dropping this dime. Jaden Greathouse hauls it in. Touchdown Shaps. It's party time for the Chaparrals, the #1 team in the state. Leads Lake Travis right now. 14-0, 14-6 now in the first quarter there at Chaparral Stadium in Austin. And you're probably wondering, where's Austin? I mean, come on, guys. This is the state capital. Matthew McConaughey lives there.
Need a map for this one?
Been around since 1970. They've been really successful. Of course, Drew Brees is from there. Drew Brees is used to being there. There tonight, though, is our own Ashley Pickle, who is on hand for us here at the Battle of the Lakes. And Ashley, I want to ask you a little bit about Cade Klubnik. The big question coming in was whether or not the Clemson commit was going to play. Todd Dodge told our own Craig Way earlier in the week that he was going to play, and it sure seems like there's no rush on the Clemson commit.
Number 12.
You heard that mission that the Eagles were on to turn it around from what happened against Jim Ned last year.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because last year Jim Ned, that win over Brock was really, I think, what buoyed them to that state championship. That was the real kind of springboard for them to make it all the way to AT&T Stadium. And I think Brock thought about it for an entire year. And I think that they built up a lot of aggression and took it all out on one day there in Brownwood. So really impressive from Brock. They look like the real deal and perhaps the favorite in 3A Division I. But let's go to Region 2, where there was a big-time matchup between unbeaten West, the Trojans, taking on Malakoff, who's no stranger to the big stage. Let's go to Mesquite to watch this one. First quarter, Tigers up 6-0. Justin Driscoll picked off by Brandon Vanek of West, and the Trojans are in business. Ensuing drive, TJ McCutcheon breaks free, gets in for the score. West goes up 7-6. They win a nail-biter, 14-12. So that will bring up the Region 2 final as the West Trojans take on the Mount Vernon Purple Tigers, a matchup of unbeatens there at the Ford Center in Frisco, 7 o'clock Friday night. That figures to be a fantastic matchup. Mount Vernon's been absolutely just blowing teams out. But what I think is interesting about West, they win on the margins. They don't, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. David Woodard's bunch is so good in close games. If this game's close, you got to give them the inch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let them hang around, and you do that at your own risk.